Hi, this is Eric. Welcome to Bereshit Restoration Project. Today we're going to be talking about idols, pictures, statues. Let me read you some scripture. In Exodus 20, verse 4, it says, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth." In Deuteronomy 5, 8 and 9, once again, it says, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, the earth beneath, or in the water underneath the earth." Verse 9 says, "And you shall not bow down to them." The word bow down, we've talked about before, is to make one low, to depress, to put your nose on the floor. And the word to them nor serve is abad in the Hebrew. That's to work or to serve. To serve as subjects. To serve with Levitical service. Let me see, we're talking about the Torah and Levitical service. So let's tuck that one away for a second. Let's read on. "You shall not make idols for yourself, neither a carved image." There's that word again, pisel. And that is also can be interpreted as the chiseling of stone to form an image. A sacred pillar. The word pillar is metzsaba. And that's a pillar, a stump, a monument, a personal memorial, an altar. "Nor shall you set up an engraved stone." And that's meskeith. I can't really, I don't know what it's, but it's meskeith in Hebrew. And it's just a showpiece, a figure, an imagination, an idol, a picture. I want to take a look at this word a little bit closer, particularly the picture part. Ancient Hebrew alphabet is a very pictorial alphabet. For example, the Hey is a man on his knees with his hands raised up. The Nun is a representation, or it could be a representation of a fish or a seed. The Resh is the man's head. These are all things that are on the earth and in the earth and underneath the earth and the water. Now, does this or does it not kind of contradict what we just read? I suggest to you that every one of these verses has a tag verse. Now, in the Hebrew, and even in the Greek, there is no punctuation. That just reads from one word to another, and there's no punctuation. And I would suggest and submit that these tag verses, "and you shall not idol worship those, you shall not bow down to them," is in there for a reason. Let's read on. In Exodus 24, verse 4, Moses went down and built an altar at the base of the mountain. And he constructed, quote unquote, and 12 pillars according to the tribes of Israel. Now, it's silly to think that possibly God should have struck him dead right there because he built a pillar, or pillars. After he just got done saying earlier, don't build pillar. Also, in Exodus 25, 18, "And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, hammered work, and you shall put them on either side of the mercy seat." Cherubim, are they not representation of angels in heaven? That God just said, if we read the verse the way we normally read it, tells us not to do? Moreover, continuing in Exodus 26, verse 1, moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine linen and artistic design of the cherubim on the curtain. There it is again. What's God doing here? He's telling us, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. And then he turns around and says, thou shalt, thou shalt, thou shalt. So what is the difference? The difference is the tag verses that go with the scripture. And bow yourself down to them. Like I said, ancient Hebrew does not have commas, periods, question marks, punctuation. It's just there. It goes from one word to the next. There's no periods, nothing. So our interpretation, I'm asking you, is our interpretation possibly wrong? Is our interpretation not what God intended? When we go to an aquarium and take a picture of a fish, are we creating an idol, or are we just taking a picture? It's the attitude that we have toward those things in our hearts. Now, for the sake of argument, if Moses would have made those 2 cherubim on either side of the mercy seat and started worshiping them, then yeah, probably God would have struck him down. Because he's doing exactly what the 10 Commandments tell us not to do, or the verses that I read earlier tells us not to do. The same way with the pillars. He chopped out the pillars, made representations of the 12 tribes of Israel, and if he would have started bowing down to them, so praise ye 12 tribes of Israel pillars, would God have struck him dead? I don't know for sure, but he would have been doing exactly what God said not to do. It's not the making of the pillars. It's not the making or seeing or looking upon the angels, the cherubim, or the pillars, or the angels on the curtains. It's the attitude we have toward them. Yeshua taught us in the New Testament with the Sermon on the Mount that we've heard it said that you shall not murder. But he said, if you have it in your where? In your heart, that you hate your brother, then you have committed murder already. So God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's the same. He looks at our heart. Whenever I was in high school, many years ago, I used to wear a cross. Now, was it wrong for me to wear a cross, which represented my Christianity, my faith, my belief in Jesus, Yeshua? No, I think not. Now, if I would have taken that cross off and hung it up on an altar or something, and said, oh, praise ye cross of Yeshua, then it becomes a problem. Some of us have mezuzahs hanging in our doorway. When we go out or come in, I usually kiss and I'll say to myself, thank you for your word, God. Thank you for your protection, Jehovah. Thank you for your love. Thank you for giving us your word. Now, just because I kiss it, does that mean I'm worshiping it? Absolutely not. I have no worship for the mezuzahs hanging in my doors. I don't. Now, if I was to go outside and bow down and bow my head to that, say, oh, great mezuzah, please protect me, then my focus is coming off of God and what he commands us to do in the Shema, to put these things in our doorways, in our gates. I'm taking my eyes off of that and putting them on the object. Objects are objects. Pictures are pictures. You could go to the extreme and say, I'm not going to take a picture of this because if I do, I'm going to break this. Or if you have a picture of whatever hanging wherever, it's not that the pictures are hanging, it's what you do with it. Or even a statue. It's what you do with that statue. It's what your attitude is toward that statue. Like I said, Yeshua looks at the heart. He wants us to be aware of our heart and our intent. I just want you to think about it. Don't get yourself wrapped around the axle. Don't get yourself all tied up in the knot. Like I said, in Leviticus 26, verse 1, I'll read it all together here. You shall not make idols for yourselves, neither carved images or a sacred pillar, nor shall you set up an engraved stone in your land to bow down to it, for I am Yod-Heh-Vav-Veh, your God. In Deuteronomy 5, 8 and 9, you shall, and it repeats itself, you shall not make for yourself any carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath. Any likeness, that means a picture, a carving, whatever. Verse 9, you shall not bow down to them. Having those things, in my opinion, is not the problem. It's our attitude toward them. On a side note, if you choose not to have these things in your house, if you choose not to even look upon those, that's up to you. That's between you and God. And we have to have grace with each other in dealing with those things. Thank you so much for watching and listening. May Jehovah bless you and keep you, cause his face to shine upon you and give you peace. In the name of the Prince of Peace, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. God bless.